Hello, and thank you for being here. This is Wellbeing Fundamentals, Skills for a Flourishing Life. And I want to tell you a little bit about how this course came about and introduce myself for those of you who don't know me or haven't worked with me yet. My name is Alejandra Molina, and I'm a mindfulness teacher, a Brown trained mindfulness teacher, and a well-being coach. I'm also an expert in positive psychology, which is the science of the good life. And I also have studies in neuroscience. And I mix a blend of neuroscience, mindfulness, and positive psychology in my coaching and in my workshops. When I'm not working with coaching clients one-on-one around topics of well-being, stress management, anxiety management, or building skills for a happier, more balanced, more connected life, I'm giving workshops around mindfulness, around resilience skills, around how to develop these skills for well-being, because yes, well-being is a skill. And when I'm not working, I'm at home with my husband and our 8 girls who are 8 and 11. So the reason why I created Wellbeing Fundamental Skills for a Flourishing Life is because every time I work with clients, whether they come because they're facing a transition at work, or they come because they're wanting to learn how to manage stress better, or work on their anxiety, or manage their emotions better, or they're simply feeling a little disconnected or wondering how to feel better, more balanced. At some point, for those who are parents, the topic of their children comes up. And there's usually some type of connection between what they're wanting to work on and what is happening at home, or concerns that they have about how they can be better parents for their kids. Not in terms of their parenting, but in terms of them as human beings. How can they be better human beings to be better parents? And I've dove in multiple times in teaching specific positive psychology skills that, if learned and applied in your own adult life and embodied, then there's something that you can offer your kids. Not only see your kids through that lens of positive psychology, but also offer them those skills when they're in need. I specialize in working with high achievers. And one thing that I've discovered is that high achievers have high-performing kids. The children are proud of their parents' successes and hardworking style, their ambitions, their goals. They've seen them work at their goals every day. And then these children are also high achievers. They're setting up goals for themselves. They're trying to discover their passions. They're athletes. They're trying to perform in different topics. They want to do well academically, and their parents want them to do well academically. And at some point, when stress hits, or they're in the middle of a competition, or about to go on a show, or dealing with a lot of work at school, at some point as parents, and I've been there, and you tell me if you've been there as well, you realize that, yes, there's this presence that you can offer. Yes, there's all the love and the attachment. But when you're really in the grind, when your child is struggling, when emotions are high, when stress is high, and there are deadlines and there are concerns, at some point, you wish there could be a magic wand or an answer or a how-to of how to better support your child in that moment when they're facing fear, or they need to work through worry, or they need to motivate themselves, or they need to think about a problem in a different way, or they need to better handle your emotions, and hence you need to better handle your emotions in order to stay grounded and support them while they process their own emotional states. So this course is an answer to all those questions. What we are going to do in the different sessions of Wellbeing Fundamentals is learn the different positive psychology skills that the science offers us, with tested studies and scientific trials and scientific-backed interventions of how to build certain skills to develop a growth mindset, to better manage stress, to build resilience, to better process emotions, to create more connection and better work in our relationships. And we're going to be covering one by one in terms of what it means, why it's important, how it fits into that well-being equation that we all want to master, and how you can start modeling it and teaching it to your children. I'm a big believer that we can't model to our children what we're not or what we don't know. And we teach our children more by what we model than by what we say. So I'm glad you're here with me, and let's dive in.